Good morning, everybody. Thank you to OpenSSF for having me here this morning. My name is Andrew Carney, and I'm the government, and I'm here to help. I'm a program manager at DARPA and ARPA-H, and I'm here to talk about the AI Cyber Challenge. Once I can, I know there's a cuter full screen mode. There we go. So the AI Cyber Challenge kicked off 2 years ago at Black Hat and DEF CON with OpenSSF on stage with us, with us there. We were we had a number of partners across industry and government kind of there from the get-go because we wanted to do something to kind of accelerate and also provide, I think, a good baseline as to what we're seeing in the security space and encourage folks to build kind of the next generation of autonomous, efficient cybersecurity tools that could be leveraged to the benefit of the open source community. So we created this public competition where folks could sign up with, create autonomous systems that take program analysis tools, marry them with LLMs, and sort of see what they could do and sort of throw the DARPA gasoline on the fire. And we designed the challenge to be as realistic as possible. If you're familiar with DARPA challenges, the robotics challenges has some really good YouTube clips. If you haven't seen them, they tend to be modeled after real world either problems or like disasters. Like the robotics challenge was modeled after Fukushima. The idea that how do we take humanoid robots or robots in like a humanoid focused space, but have them do those tasks that are too dangerous for humans to do in an emergency. For AICC, we took real open source software and created synthetic forks of it. So we developed these private synthetic forks that no model had ever seen, that no team had ever seen, tried to make them as realistic as possible, as sort of true to the repo that we were forking, and then inserted synthetic vulnerabilities and are inserting synthetic vulnerabilities into that fork, just to ensure that, like I said, the teams have never seen this, the models have never trained on this. And then we left the door open for 0 days. Even kind of pinning the open source challenges to these synthetic kind of variants, we knew that there was the opportunity to find real bugs, real vulns. And also to kind of Seth's point earlier, we wanted to incentivize patching over discovery. We did not want to, at the end of the competition, it would have been considered a failure, and I would consider it a failure, if we develop a bunch of tools that just burden the community, burden kind of everyone with more issues, and definitely not more AI slop, but without any solutions. And so in our scoring algorithm in the competition framework, we've incentivized patching really heavily. It's far more effective for teams to patch fewer things, or to find fewer things and patch all of them, than it is to find a lot of things and patch very few of them. And all of our kind of documentation in the scoring system is very public. So the other kind of exciting thing about this competition is that all the outputs, all the systems that have been developed for it, will be open sourced when the competition's over. We've had to keep them close hold for the kind of competition itself, but we're approaching our final event at DEF CON this year, and within 2 weeks of that, we expect to have the cyber reasoning systems open sourced, and shortly after that, we will have all of our competition data and infrastructure open sourced, which is very exciting. So, in addition to, you have to be able to find vulnerabilities, you have to be able to patch them. What does patching mean in this case? What does finding a vulnerability mean? For us, or proof of vulnerability, is a triggering input. So you actually have to have a concrete thing that actually triggers, like make sure that it's reachable, make sure that the bug is triggerable, maybe not 100% of the time, but it has to trigger some amount of the time. And then our patches, we only score patches that pass all of the repo's tests, like the existing testing regimen for that repo. They don't get points unless they pass all of those tests, plus the tests that we've added for our synthetic kind of branch. And then a number of other tests to ensure that people aren't getting super cute with their patches and patching out critical functionality of the program, or patching the infrastructure. So the real hope is that both the infrastructure and the open source CRSs, these autonomous systems, are about as close to usable from release as possible. It's not going to be like a straight drop into your development pipeline, but we've tried to get it as close as we can while still keeping the competition kind of moving forward. So I'm here to share a little bit about what we've seen leading up to finals, yeah, hopefully that piques your interest. So we've had these exhibition rounds, which have basically been integration events over the last 3 months, where we've given the teams increasingly larger sets of challenges, increasingly more complex challenges, and this is just the kind of slok that's in scope over the course of those rounds. We've also developed a lot of custom instrumentation with some help from our kind of Frontier Model Foundation partners from industry, some of whom are here today, which is very exciting to see. We're adding this instrumentation, trying to, like I said, create a wide breadth of potential projects, some that are very widely used and some that are, kind of critical linchpin projects that may have a single maintainer and not get a ton of attention or love. And so that itself has been a fun exercise. So one of the things that we wanted to do with the competition was kind of take as many restrictions away from the teams as we could. Take kind of the LLM funding, their LLM budgets, their core compute budgets, and their time budgets, like their wall time budgets, try to right-size that for them. So over the course of these rounds, initially we gave them excess kind of funding and time, and just saw, okay, when did they kind of like plateau and stop producing results? And so over the last few months, we've kind of gotten to this place where 12 hours feels pretty good for most of the challenge kind of sets. We also give them challenges we give them multiple concurrent challenges. So these systems have to have some level of not only can they operate autonomously, but can they handle concurrent tasks of a variety of types. We can hand them a full repo and make that in scope for a task. We can hand them a patch in like unified diff format, have them deal with that. And so trying to make sure that the resulting systems are performant, once again, so that they're easy to adopt. Okay, don't be scared by these numbers. So these are pre-deduplication numbers. So we also have infrastructure for verification and deduplication. I'm not going to claim that it's perfect. It's definitely good enough for the competition, and I think it's very close to something that would, once again, minimize the pain for anyone trying to adopt these tools. But we've definitely seen the team step up to the patching sort of challenge, and they've definitely, I think, focused on developing, like I said, valid patches for the challenges that we put to them. It's also worth noting that in our semifinal event last year, one of the teams actually did find a real bug in SQLite, which we disclosed. Also, just to be clear, this is an unclassified competition. We are disclosing everything. Like, there is no curtain to peek behind here other than like competition-sensitive stuff, despite DARPA. So we're super happy to be kind of engaging so publicly with everyone and sharing kind of the tech being developed as we can. So the winners will be announced at DEF CON this year on Friday. And the rest of DEF CON, if you're there, we will have the teams, we will have our partners from industry, and we will have critical infrastructure representatives kind of all together in our space, talking about their tech, talking about their experience with the competition, and talking about how we're looking forward to kind of leveraging it moving forward. My sort of ask to the room, and a kind of ask that we've been working with OpenSSF on for the last 2 years, so we want to enable as many folks to benefit from this tech as possible. Just open sourcing it, right? That doesn't solve the problem. It takes expertise, it takes man hours, person hours, and so we're looking for the right ways to provide maintainers with resources, with support, and so we know that takes a different shape, especially when we've been, depending on kind of the project, the vibes, et cetera. And we want to kind of meet folks where they are. We want to bring you the solutions that you want, not the solutions that we think you want. And so I definitely encourage folks to reach out to us at AIXCC@darpa.mil, or Jeff Deeks at OpenSSF is our kind of primary point of contact there. And if you have thoughts, if you have repos that you think would be interesting for post-competition kind of like adoption or analysis, I'm the government and I'm here to help. We are genuinely interested in, like I said, giving folks the help that they want in the way that they want it. And we will do everything kind of in our power to hit that mark if we can. Yeah. So thank you all very much, and hopefully we'll see you all at DEF CON this year.